Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to EUWChallenger Series number 13, Day 4, the Grand Finals of Copenhagen Wolves and Meet Your Makers, 4th game of the best of 5, and we could be seeing that 5th game, Metas. But until then, I am Puss, as I said, I am joined by Metas, and we're into the next Champion Select Picks and Bans, waiting on the last 2 bands to come out, Kasten, Shen, Zed, and Rumble. How's it going, man? What are your thoughts on the last couple of games we've seen?
It's going good. I am absolutely knackered after all the casting we've been doing, but I'm still hyped and amped for this game. Gotta say, Pulse, it's been awesome thus far. 2-1 currently for Copenhagen Wolves. Although Meet Your Makers is something we haven't mentioned too much, but I feel maybe we should, just to give them not necessarily an excuse, but just maybe a reason, the benefit of the doubt. Naga is in for Makate. If you don't know, Makate normally plays for Meet Your Makers. He broke, I believe it was his hand or his arm, and he's unable to play with Meet Your Makers for the next 3 weeks. Therefore, last second, they got this substitute to come in. And apparently, Pulse, he said they haven't played together for over a year. So I think they're doing phenomenal considering all the kind of details here.
Yeah, plus Makata was the shot caller with Libic, and now they've swapped up to Naga being the shot caller along with Charu. So it's a big switch up, but Naga has done exceptionally well. I've always thought that their calls have been on point, almost to the stage where we haven't really been thinking about them. And when you don't think about a team shot calling, you think, actually, that's probably good, because it goes under the radar, it's so smooth, and like on the field, exactly what they need to be doing at any point in time. So, we do have the Thresh picked out once again by MYM in return. Oh, the Lee Sin has not been banned out, and Elise comes in. The 6th ban didn't come out. I'm not sure that's a bug. I'm going to confirm with MYM, but if it was going to be Lee Sin, we might have some difficulties. But either way, if they let that slip through, shook on Lee Sin, man, that's going to be some interesting times.
Well, I can't even comment on that because Shook Lee Sin is right up there with some of the best Lee Sins I've ever seen personally, and I'm talking about in any realm, any region of the world. So he is pretty magnificent on this character. Not too sure, as you said, about the 6th ban. Last time this happened, it was Nasus. I'm not sure if it would be again here, but as you say, it has gone through. Gragas was actually banned out against Meet Your Makers, and that's against Charu. Even though they lost the last game, Gragas was still doing lots of damage. Charu was still having a very good game. But again, here you gotta have Meet Your Makers as first pick and first ban, leaving the Thresh open. And we saw this in the game that Meet Your Makers won, Pulse. Libic was landing everything. He was making plays left, right, and center.
Yeah, so he's definitely going to be their playmaker. I'm just being told by MYM's manager they didn't ban out a 6th person. I'm not entirely sure why, but I don't know, secret tactics, I'm not really sure, Metas. But that has let Lee Sin slip through the cracks, and Elise, 2 champions, honestly, that Shook's really strong with. Elise will probably be in the mid lane, could also be in the top lane. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see that. But Kha'Zix's picked out now. That's something we haven't seen for a little while from either of these teams. And also Ezreal, another staple champion of Reckless, but on the opposing team.
Well, Makler does play a pretty good Ezreal as well, so it's understandable. Kha'Zix, as you say, is a character that we haven't seen too much. Still very much viable, still very much a champion that is strong in the right hands, so there's no reason why, you wouldn't have that being played. A bit curious who's going to be taking it, though, because Charu could potentially go for the Kha'Zix here, but it could also be for Kubon at top lane. You never quite know, Paul. So have the last 2 picks came in, though, because obviously I'm behind you.
It's going to be Vi, and it's also going to be Fizz. Awesome. 2 big playmakers, and my favourite champion of Vi. Could not be happier.
I do believe that. I definitely believe that, boss. And we haven't actually seen Vi tonight, which has been interesting because we've seen her in every other best of 3 up until this point.
Yeah, it has been a little interesting, Metas, but I guess because they're not really part of these guys' champion pools just as of yet, because she's fairly recent. However, it's worth mentioning because Vi will 90% be in the jungle. Naga, different jungler. That's probably why, Metas, because Makata, I'm not sure that's part of his champion pool. He was playing a lot of Aatrox. But now that we have Naga in the mix, he's going to have a different champion pool. So that's really nice to see. It's also like a curveball for Copenhagen Wolves to try and bring into account.
That's a very good point, actually, one that I'd not even considered. So thank you for shedding some light. Yeah, I mean, Makato was using a lot of Aatrox. He used Jarvan as well. So it may not just be a jungler that he's comfortable with, or it may just not be the kind of jungler that he wants to play with. Whereas Naga, one of the strengths, I guess you could say, of having a substitute in that hasn't played a great deal is it does offer you more versatility. It offers you more choice, more variety in the team composition as to what you can run. Of course, it's going to be Charu on the Fizz. The guy just plays one of the best Fizzes in Europe right now. Kubon, Kha'Zix, again, is going to be scary. But the only thing that I can really notice from this composition for Meet Your Makers, it's very much a gamble. It's very much a risk. It's almost all in my opinion, Pulse. Unless Naga builds full-on tank, they're going to be very squishy.
Yeah, absolutely. But jumping into a quick commercial break before we get into the fourth and potential last game of today, guys, it will be Copenhagen Wolves and Meet Your Makers. I am Pulse at Impossible, and I'm joined by Metas at Metas TV. We'll see you shortly.
There's something building in the air. I can feel it, I can feel it. It's pressing down on me and I can barely breathe. Oh, can you feel it? And I'm surrounded everywhere. I can feel it, I can feel it. It's creeping up on me, but what I just can't see. Oh, say you feel it. I'm falling into this unknown. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? There's nothing I can do but to give in to the play. And the bass kicks in, and the bass kicks in, and the bass kicks in. I can take it, and I lose control. I can shake it, can't fight it anymore. In this almighty world, I'm falling into this unknown. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? There's nothing I can do but to give in to the blame. Kicks in, and the bass kicks in, and the bass kicks in, and the bass kicks in. I can take it, and I lose control. I can shake it, I can feel it. Yeah, I can feel it. Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it. Yeah, I can feel it. There's nothing I can do but to give in to the blame. And then the bass, and then the bass, and then the bass. And as the crowd begins to fade, it's left me breathless, left me helpless, wanting more. But just as quickly as it came, it disappears and I'm left lying on the floor. But I still feel it.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chaos TV's live coverage of the EUWChallenger Series number 13, Grand Finale. This is the fourth and potentially final game if Copenhagen Wolves win it. Between Meter Makers and Copenhagen Wolves, it is currently sat at the 2-1 scoreline in favour of CW. Two very aggressive teams. We were talking about this in a break as well, Pulse. This, from a spectatorial viewpoint, is probably going to be very fun to watch. Looks like we could have some early action.
Yeah, I mentioned that MYM have picked up essentially playmaking champions. We're going to hold that thought for a second as we see Shook moving into his jungle. The death sentence comes in, annihilating him in the heartbeat. Can they go one better? Can they pick up another kill? No, they can't. But First Blood comes in for Charu. Absolutely perfect start.
Yep, and that is exactly what Libic wants. He wants to be in those positions where he can land the hooks, where he can set the kills up for the rest of his team. And that's what I feel they've gone for in this composition. It's basically saying to Libic, look, we know that you're an awesome Thresh player. Show us how good you are. Set us kills up. Get us kills on Charu's Fizz and Kha'Zix for Kubon. Like, if he can land these death sentences in team fights, Pulse, the amount of burst damage they have is just unbelievably strong.
Yeah, they're not out of the woods yet as Naga finds himself Kaltard, but do they aggress onto him? The answer is no. Death Sentence comes across just in case Reckless jukes that way. Backing on off, Shook will be picking up his blue buff, and they have repelled that assault, which is oh so valuable. And Libic will be helping Vi in the jungle, at least for the first buff. He will actually need some help. He went for the Vault Breaker first for the extra burst damage, meaning that he won't because Vi typically starts with excessive force for the clear. It's actually very helpful for taking buffs, so he will definitely need some help.
Yeah, very much the case, but even though they did save the blue buff, they have still gone behind early here because Charu's Fizz has got First Blood. That means that you are going to have the Fizz with Doran's Ring and a Crystalline Flask in mid. It's going to be very difficult to play against. Actually, Unlimited is going really low, forced to flash away. Very quick reactions, but and it's going to mean that very vulnerable going into the later stages of this lane.
Yeah, superb timing on the exhaust, but as he said, without that extra summoner, in a trade situation they'll be in the deep end. And Libic, again, he's just so on point with these death sentences. That was, again, all on the back of a death sentence. So as I said before we had the First Blood going down, they have a playmaking team. They have two assassins. They have Vi, who's very aggressive. They can snowball unbelievably hard. I think this is the hardest snowballing team I've seen in a long time. However, meanwhile in the bot lane, Unlimited flashing up red once again. Makla, he's looking for that line of sight. And Reckless uses himself as a human shield. Again, Unlimited in the deep end. In the top lane, we have Shook kind of sniffing around. Ping comes out. Naga and Kubon are around the area, making sure to... Again, they could pick up a kill, but in the mid lane, Charu aggressing onto Kaltron, Shook looking for the counter gang. Flash comes out, lands the Q, and the follow and with the flash and the Silk of Frost. Charu so low, another flash from Shook. Will the red buff be enough? The answer is yes, because of the Tempest. Now, with Naga, he is aggressing onto Kaltard, but the Glacial Path comes across. Now Kubon trading off against Shook. This will be so bad if he loses that double buff. He's still taking so much damage from Taste Their Fear. Naga will have the Q in 1 second, doesn't even need it. Kubon picks up the double buff, and MYM is in such good shape for this game.
They are, their mid laner got First Blood, and now their top laner has double buff. So, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Not only is Shook in a weaker position as a result, but so is Young Buck at top. So, like, thanks, dude. Now I have to deal with a double buffed up Kha'Zix, who's going to hurt me in the facial regions. Regardless, though, Kubon is going to be farming up underneath his tower, and going to be very happy, I'm sure, right about now. Vi going ahead, trying to steal away these wraiths, knowing that Lee Sin just died. Needs to be careful, because Shook is coming around from the side here, picks up the big wraith, and will manage to escape.
Oh, Libic landing another beautiful death sentence in return, and the answer will be from Unlimited. He might have been able to all in, but he was very close to the tower, and Makta was too far behind. And actually, before I was going to say a great thing that Copenhagen Wolves have in their arsenal is Shook. He's on one of his staple champions. He's on Lee Sin, his comfort pick, and they let that slip through the cracks. So as a result, he'll have that. He should be able to counter them early game, but he's had a very bad early game. He's lost First Blood. He also lost double buff, and that is perfect for MYM. Literally, I could conceive of no other scenario apart from a level 1 ace, which would have been better than this start.
It certainly is pretty much a case of a dream start for them. I will say, however, that even though Shook has had a poor start in terms of losing his double buff, he's still so good with this champion that he's still in this matchup. There's no doubts about it. He's still going to be able to make big plays. He's still going to be able to just float around the jungle as he does. I've likened him to kind of a clone jungler. There just appears to be so many of him on the map at the same time. That's how active he is. That's how mobile he is. And with Lee Sin, he definitely takes it to a new level. Often goes for mobility boots, first or second pick on Lee Sin. So interested to see if that's going to be the case here as well. Both junglers hanging around mid. Shook has been spotted by this ward, so Naga is just kind of hanging around here. And there we go. Both junglers spotted, both junglers going back.
Yeah, I'm always interested in understanding how different Vi players build Vi, because there's so much debate on what is optimal right now. And Naga has gone for a different build again. He's actually gone for the Doran's Blade, which is less typical but very understandable, because early game junglers, they want the trading potential, and because Doran's Blade is so efficient, there's no reason not to. He's actually maxing the excessive force, something that, again, not everyone does. The Koreans like to max Q. Also seen some junglers, I think 760 also maxes the Q. So, again, it's just kind of preference right now before people understand which is truly optimal.
Yeah, and as you say though, I mean, it really does come down to that personal preference, Pulse, where you have a set way of building and kind of approaching the Vi jungle. Other junglers have their own way, and it really just comes down to what suits you. Charu's going very aggressive on counter, Glacial path through, and we'll be just fine.
Yeah, in the bot lane, we thought we might see Vi looking for the gank. Libic doesn't quite connect the dots and land the flay. In the top lane, trade coming in from Kuban, really punishing Young Buck's aggression. I've heard that their coach, the MYM coach, said that Kha'Zix is a counter to Elise. And honestly, a matchup I could understand. Elise doesn't have that many counters because of how she innately works. Level 2 is a very good stage for her. Kha'Zix got ahead because he hit level 2 before Youngbuck, so he's kept that advantage. But I would have to analyse that lane to definitely say he's a counter.
And of course, another thing that's the reason why he's ahead is because the double buffs, Pulse, that he was given courtesy after Shook died. So that's always going to be a nice advantage in the lane. Not just the damage that Red will be doing off the Taste Their Fear, for example, but also the constant spammability of those abilities. With blue buff, bot lane, Libic is flashing up red. The exhaust comes down on Makla. Doesn't look like they're going to retort right now. And yeah, Reckless and Unlimited, they're kind of just chugging along here. Yes, Libic has a lot of presence with his Qs, but they're just farming.
Yeah, in the mid lane we actually had Lissandra throwing out the Glacial Path, but which is the point we thought she was going to follow up. Because he has Frozen Tomb, he threw out the Chum the Waters before it actually landed. It's okay, he'll have it up in about a minute and 10 time, so that's not awful, but it's one of those big ultimates that has been lost. Especially in this stage in the game, it's another ability that's used as a playmaking ability, and as we've discussed, they need to make those plays happen.
They definitely do. But it has kind of reached this part in the game where it's like a flirtatious affair. Both junglers just trying their best to make some plays. Dragon really isn't on the cards just yet as it stands. Bot lane, I'm keeping a very big look on. Here comes the box actually, and the True Shot Barrage. Will Makla commit? Because Reckless is pretty high on hit points right now. Isn't currently level 6. Looks like that engage will be over before it even starts. Couple of ultimates burnt in the process.
Yeah, so in the mid lane, a ping has gone down by Charu. He knows that Kaltard is waiting in the wings. 2-1 right now overall, and literally no gold in it. Most even game we've had yet. And Charu aggressing onto Kaltard. He does not have an ultimate. He does have the ignite. And Kaltard is just kind of allowing himself to be aggressed on, knowing that Lee Sin is in the wings, ready to aggress onto Charu if he puts a foot wrong. In the bot lane, Naga is there. He has his level 6 as a source and battery. Should be able to chain it in with Libic, but with the bot lane being so low, so unhealthy, we won't be able to go for the gank just as of yet. Also Shook around the area, just making sure he can assist if needed, but everyone's going to back off. Lots of mind games and playing it a little bit more cautiously, knowing that this could be potentially the last game.
Yeah, definitely the case, and as you say, it's not just the case of the EUWChallenger series. We said this before, we've been hyping up this game purely on the basis, I'm keeping an eye on mid, Shook just running away. Purely on the basis, this could be a repeat performance soon. Here comes Livik flaying back. Naga from the side. That's beautiful mechanics. Jumping in. Assault and battery. Instant Stranglethorns though. Ace in the hole comes down. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. But Reckless is in a really dangerous position right now. Here comes Fizz from the side. Will be taking down that kill. Chum the Water's coming in. Glacial path up. Naga could be surviving this one. No, he will not. Countard manages to escape for now. But there's the double kill actually. And could potentially turn itself into a triple kill. As the actual Dragon's Rage comes out. Shook is going to go down from the triple kill from Fizz and the Ignite. Oh my good god, those mechanics.
Wow, absolute tag team fight. It was like 2-1 would go out, and then the top lane, Coupon aggresses onto Youngbook. He has such good all-in, but he actually turns this one around. In a 1-versus-1 scenario, Youngbook is incredibly good at executing. Repel comes in. Will he have enough? He has the Neurotoxin, but he's too low for that to do all the damage he wants it to. Volatile Spiraling comes in, so close both ways. And I think he was actually caught by the isolation damage. Good usage of Spiderlings though can prevent that Charu with the flash. Duke out of the way of Cocoon. Oh my god, the mechanics messes.
See, I'm too much of a scrub to really understand how good that was from Fizz. I know it was remarkable play that Charu just put out there, but my brain is still trying to process it. That's how good it was, Pulse. That was a triple kill out of nowhere. Fair enough, Reckless was a given kill. He was very low, but after that was all Charu.
Yeah, meanwhile the bot lane, the box lands from Livik, the true shot barrage comes across, Arcane Shift into the Mystic Shot. Will Unlimited fall? He has been exhausted. That going on to Makler, forces them back, Kaltod coming down. Again, will be cut off by Naga if he finds him. No preemptive glacial path over the wall. But I fully agree, Metas. It was everything landed from Charu in terms of what was not point and click, because his E, when it's instantly cast, the AoE is far smaller, and you have to put it exactly where you want it, because if you flop down after the 1.5 seconds is actually the full duration has gone down, the AoE is much larger. So Charu, his mechanics had to be absolutely on point. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Shook throws out. The Sonic Wave does not connect onto Charu. Meanwhile, the bot lane, Livik looking for the death sentence and kind of wobbles around the minion. And Naga still looking for this follower. Can he connect it? He lands it onto Unlimited, who goes straight through the trap. Makler still looking to do some damage to Reckless. The hole comes through. Body block from Livik. And Naga lives another day.
And as you'd say, Pulse, Livik proving to be a friend after all, after blocking that ace in the hole.
Yeah.
And Naga breathing a nice sigh of relief. They do pick up the kill. And now that we're done salivating over that wonderful play from Fizz, and it deserves all the plaudits it gets. However, 5-1. Let's look at this realistically. He is now fed. He is now a real threat on the battlefield. Needlessly Large Rod and Sheen, plus 500 gold in the back pocket. Charu is at the point in contention right now where he can pretty much one-shot anyone he so chooses once the Chum the Waters is up. Once that Lich Bane comes out, he is going to be such a deadly fish.
I think the most important thing to mention from this is not only are they 2k ahead, which is good, but usually you would say not that significant, because they are playmakers, because they want all the gold to be centralized on the assassins, on also the AD carry, because he's very much like a mid-game AD carry. They're a mid-game orientated team in terms of making those plays. So that's absolutely perfect. 2k ahead, yes, but centralized on the right people. And now it's all eyes are on Fizz. Also towards Karzik, 1, 0, and 2. It's not like he's also doing bad. He's actually farming exceptionally well as well. And Vi is still in good shape. Her damage will still pull through. So we'll see what they can bring to the table. Looks like the first tower of the game might go down in the mid lane, but Naga looking for the gank onto the top lane. With Youngbug popping into the Spider Bomb, he will have the repel to Duke out of Vault Breaker. Pops back down onto his turret. As I said, first turret goes down to Copenhagen walls. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have Lee Sin following our execute combo comes in, clips him with Dragon's Rage. Coupon will surely fall. Venomous Bite comes out. Shook will follow up. Actually picks up the kill. Will he die in return? Safeguard comes out. It will be enough.
That Lee Shook is just so good. I think it is important to mention though that Naga's been having a really good game. Obviously just died at top, wasn't the greatest, but before then has been all over the map, has been making plays in mid. We saw a couple plays being made there at bot lane when they picked up the kill on Reckless, but also before, you know, really it was Vi that paved the way for that triple kill that Charu got. It was an exquisite ultimate, splitting up Unlimited and Reckless to get the ball rolling. Speaking of Charu, speaking of the devil, he has moved down towards bot, but it's going to be too little too late as Reckless will be recalling.
8 and 5 and 200 gold in. Actually now into the lead of Copenhagen Walls. That was very, very fast how the the tides have shifted. Now, Libic clearing out those wards, and meanwhile, this is looking towards Unlimited as Charu jumps over the wall with the playful trickster. Chum the Waters comes across, lands onto Reckless. Can he follow up? That's the question. True Shot Raj comes across, will clip Reckless in the process, and now Lee Sin follows up. Can he go one better? Ace in the Hole comes down onto the backside of Makler. Can they pick up kill? It looks like the answer is a resounding no. Now, will they move on to Dragon? That is the point of contest for these teams.
Doesn't look likely. Even though Reckless had to recall, they didn't feel strong enough there, and it is definitely better to play safe than sorry, especially Pulse when so much is dangling on the line for these two teams. You don't want to make a dumb play, especially from Meteor Maker's perspective. They are, even though the gold doesn't suggest that they're ahead, they have gold, they have kills on the right champions, so they're probably feeling pretty strong right now. They don't want to gift this to Copenhagen Wolves on a golden plate.
Yeah, not at all. And as I said, they can always have the opportunity to make things happen. In the top lane, Kubon is looking to do so. Youngbuck returns with some damage. Void Assault comes out, takes their fear, splits him up from his own Spiderlings. It's not quite enough at the moment. Reckless taking some hits from Naga. Tower shot in return. Does he have the ace in the hole? The answer is no. Now, with Lee Sin also heading into the bot lane, will be revealed by a ward. So, it looks like we will have Naga recalling. And again, no kills coming out just as of yet. Ping comes out from the team of MYM, but again, nothing quite yet matters.
Yep, nothing quite yet. No one is trying to force and bash down the door to take down Dragon right now. May very well be a pick. Coutard does throw a couple away. Here comes the Chum the Waters instantly into Frozen Tomb. That was beautiful reaction speed from Coutard, but how is it going to go afterwards? Both characters around the same hit points, and there comes the scumbag pause. Could not be worse timing for us as casters or the players themselves.
Yeah, Charu must be cursing right now, because he's the one aggressing, and it was actually his team who paused it, but they are having some TeamSpeak problems, which are actually very, well, necessary, because you need communication in a team game, especially when you operate at this level, Metas. So we'll see what happens in this. Let's analyze some of the cooldowns. So Charu, it's got 3 seconds left on Urchin Strike. Coutard, I can't actually select. I want to though. There we go.
For me, it says he's got like, it's just flickering between 20 and 1.
Okay.
So yeah, GG.
Right, he will have Ring of Frost in a second, so that should be, and he has the Flash. And Charu should probably remember, because what marks a great player in League of Legends metas is being able to keep track of your lane opponent's cooldowns. If that's their ultimate, knowledge of how long it is, including cooldown reduction, and summoners as well. That's very, very important. A very easy way to do it is, especially if you both take like Ignite, and you both Ignite at the same time, then you know it's going to be at the same point. But right now, he'll know he'll have the Flash. Okay, so Coutard saying they're ready. We'll see if MYM return with the same answer, and then we'll be down looking towards how Coutard plays this one.
It's definitely a coin flip right now, although Coutard is a level behind, and dependent on how this actually plays out, could really determine who takes down Drake, if they feel they're strong enough, because you look at the 2 bot lanes, they are by and large at full hit points. Vi's coming up from spawn right now, so it is possible here, Pulse, that depending on how this little skirmish goes, could very much determine the next objective.
It could indeed, and that might be the big swing that we need to really push it in one team's favour, because at the moment we see 300 gold, but that's really just down to the turret, and we have the kill advantage, so it's very even all over, essentially. So that might give a slight advantage to the team, kind of get the ball rolling. Until then, you know, still waiting for this pause to come off. Coutard. And yep.
Producer has just told us that we are going to show the Be Right Back screen. The reason for that, as we have said previously, is we are on a 3-minute delay from the game, and we don't want to let the teams know where the other one is. So it's just to keep things nice and fair and legit. But I guess we should probably go to some questions, Pulse, because we have no idea how long this is going to take. Copenhagen Wolves have said, don't start, we have AFK, and then we are ready again within the same second. So who knows?
Yeah, we have a disconnect from Kuban, and apparently they had TeamSpeak issues, so again, we will see. And the first question is, well, who paused? It was MYM. So that's the question right there.
Yep, so if you have any questions, then please go ahead and fire them out. Coupon did just disconnect, so...
You know what? Because this could be a potential long time that we're waiting for, I will say that if I hit 1,400 followers on Twitter, so that's 33 more people, then I will do a spot giveaway for RP. How about that?
You heard the man, at Impulsible. Go follow him.
Yep, there is 12,000 people watching the stream right now. I'm pretty sure we can get 30 people to follow me.
I'm pretty sure it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't see why there wouldn't be. I mean, mathematically it adds up, doesn't it? So
it does. It does.
There should be a few of you scampering across now to at Impulsible to put yourself in contention to win yourself some RP for completely free. Question: weren't both these teams previously in the LCS? Well, Meet Your Makers were, and so were Copenhagen Wolves, actually, I believe, or at least some of the players were. So yeah, these are literally top tier of Europe. These players.
Yeah, they are indeed. They are literally some of the best players and some of the best teams in terms of team play. We are actually getting ready, being called out by Charu, and Kaltard is actually saying go. So let's jump straight into the action here, Metas. 1 second coming out. Ring of Frost comes out as we predicted, and the Ice Shard. Can Charu connect the dot? He has Urchin Strike, the flash comes down, another flash in return, and now he does pick up the kill, but now Shut comes in for the reaction. Shutdown comes in.
Yeah, but Kautar did enough there with the flash to make sure it was a 1-for-1 trade, but as we were saying before, that fight is going to determine who takes down the Drake. Here comes True Shot Barrage, going to give some vision, also some damage. Vice coming around from the side, meanwhile at top lane, Kha'Zix will be falling, but I'm keeping my eyes here on Drake. Here comes Naga from the side, charging up the Vault Breaker. Who is it that's going to steal away the Drake here? Here comes the Stranglethorns, it's going to be Vi, picks up the Drake. Can she survive as well? Flashing through the wall. Shook is in hot pursuit right now. Going to be getting the Resonating Strike and Sonic Wave. Naga is not going to survive, I'm pretty sure. But still, that was phenomenal play. Naga, please! What are you doing?
Oh, I know you were waiting for a time to use that, Metas, but Shook, he was so angry that he took that away from him. The fact he was level 11 as well, he had the level advantage, and Naga still picked it off him. That was absolutely exceptional, and they went in hot pursuit after that Vi. So 10 and 8, and picking up the Drake as well has put, well, I would say one team ahead, but really not Metas, because again, this game is just way too close to call.
It really is. And it's plays like that, which is the reason we hyped this game, Pulse. It's plays like that, which when we knew this was going to be the finals from day number one, or at least we were both fairly confident. We know these teams are very, very strong, very equal in terms of skill level. Coupon is going to be going head-to-head with Young Buck, repelling away. Charu from the side. They are looking for this kill. Chum the Water's coming in. It should be a very free kill, actually, with the repel going down. Indeed it will be, and it'll be the shutdown going to Charu, who now moves on 7-2.
Yeah, they're in such good shape. I would say that they're lacking on towers and therefore control, and they do have fairly weak clear, but they can alleviate that in several ways. Like, Vi actually has very good wave clear. Coupon could potentially pick up Tiamat if he wanted to, but if they get picks and then they turn it into objectives, it won't matter if they can't siege. So, top tower falls. They are reclaiming that gold. Once again, this is the tightest match we've seen so far. Naga in the bottom jungle, Limited finds himself caught, and Naka putting more damage with the Mystic shots. Shook looking for revenge and doesn't quite get it, but Kaltog comes from the side. Ring of Frost and the Frozen Tomb. Shook, will he have enough damage? Lands the Q and actually executes him with the Dragon's Rage, not giving him any time to utilize the Vault Breaker.
Well, you know, we'll let Naga off for a little while because, again, that steal on Drake was pretty sensational. 2 versus 1 and just outsmoked the Lee Sin. Regardless, though, where is that going to put them right now in terms of the overview of this game? Still very, very close. 700 in advantage to Copenhagen Wolves. Pretty obvious that 20 minutes through, that just means very, very little in the grand scheme of things. 3-1 towers is a bit more important right now. Kautard glacial pathing through the Wraith Wall and will be farming up mid. Charu actually from the side is playing very aggressive. Chum the Water's in. I don't think he realizes that Lee Sin is hanging around the edges, so that Sonny's Hourglass is going to completely mitigate any of the Chum the Water's damage, and actually they will just be pulling back to the sanctuary of their own tower.
if Kaltard had known Chuck was there ahead of time, he might have actually just not Zonya'd on reaction and actually just let it hit him, because then he could have counter-ganked. Kuban from the side, will he go for the initiate? Looks like no. The team fight potential, I'm not sure how strong it is. They do have 2 assassins. Youngblood finds himself Kuban, but knowing that he doesn't quite have the potential, Kaltard finds himself caught into box as well. Does he have the presence too? The answer is yes. Now it comes up. Naga is off to the side. He's zoning them up. Makla is forced back off. He does have the damage though. He is trying as much to get as much down as possible, if I can get my words out. And the passive from Zyra comes across, 1 for 2 trade. MYM come out ahead once again.
Yes, they do. And yeah, 1 versus 2 in terms of how many players were killed. Mid tower is fairly low. 327 hit points remaining on that one. But again, Pulse, very tense. The atmosphere is so thick you can almost taste it. It is tangible right now between these two. Cocoon goes out, does land on Charu, but simply not enough follow-up damage. And Youngbuck doesn't want to be going into a potential 1 versus 3 or 4 situation, so he's going to be backing away. Reckless in the meantime, trying desperately to get a pick somehow, some way. As you actually alluded to in the previous game, Pulse, you didn't think Phage would go into Triforce. Completely correct. BF Sword into Pickaxe suggests more of an Infinity Edge approach.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. I mean, on the mid lane, Youngbuck potentially caught the flash from Livic. Dukes out of the way with Repel, and the death sentence lands actually through the Sparklings before they spawn. Livic now going to be caught by his play, and did not come to fruition. Naga and Charu unable to respawn. Middle tower very low HP. Both of the AD carriers in the bot lane. Split push from Kha'Zix. This should be an easy tower pickup for Copenhagen Wolves.
Yes, it will be. And actually, Makla being caught with his pants down there from Reckless, who will cancel off the recall. Question is, however, are Copenhagen Wolves going to try and exploit this potential weakness? They are coming down in force. 4 players congregating around Makla, who will arcane shift away. Naga will Vault Breaker away as well, so they're both going to get away to safety. But this could leave this tower fairly vulnerable and fairly weak. Big creep wave piling up, and they're going to do so much damage, already below half hit points. Already below quarter hit points, actually. Lisa needs to be careful, but Shook is just going to safeguard away, and they are going to be fine. In fact, are they going to be fine? Because Kuban's gone in hyper-aggressive right now. Vi's coming around from the side, Glacial Path in, and Kaltard will move back towards the Drake area. Prolonged fight, Pulse. Very tense. Intense as well, actually. Unlimited's going to be caught out. Chumberwater's in as well. Stranglethorn's instantly down, but then it's going to be a very, very dead Unlimited.
Yeah, that's 1 for 0. They were in good shape. Now the group, they can take objectives. And it looks like we do have the recall from Shock. They're not going to be seeing that just at the moment. That recall animation, man. That recall animation. But Livic checking the brush out. Doesn't quite see anyone just as of yet. The dragon is spawning in 5 seconds. They're looking now towards Youngbuck. Can they pick up another kill? Swaps into human form with the cocoon. Puts down some damage, but he doesn't have the luxury of repel. Now he does. Drags it back with Livic. There we go. And picks up the 2nd kill of this engagement. Now Dragon is up. Can they contest this? Shook is on the hunt. He's hungry for this smite to go well on this Drake.
Especially after the last one was so frustratingly going against him, but Q1 has started the Drake. It is falling down fairly quickly. Kaltard down from the side alongside Reckless and Shook. Shook coming in here, and actually EUWChallenger's pulling off this one right now, just changing the aggro. Shook is still focusing on the dragon. They do pick it up. True shot barrage in from the side. Are they going to engage off this? No, it doesn't look like they are. EUWChallenger's just second guessing themselves there, Pulse, and lose the Drake as a result in a 4 versus 5.
Yeah, heavy pings come down by MYM. They're very aware that they're suffering in terms of objectives, static objectives like the towers. As a result, we have the counter plus coming in from Copenhagen Wolves. This is exactly what you would expect for them, but they've only got 2 caster minions, so they can't actually go very far with it. However, MYM are really suffering. They're 2 towers behind. It's not as bad as it was before. They're now looking towards that middle turret. That's going to be their next objective, because if they don't get it, they need to stay above the curve. They're still in good shape. They're only 2k behind, and they can definitely win in teamfights. They can definitely win in skirmishes in particular. Charu looking for the ultimate from the waters, comes across, knocks away. Shot won't be enough. Kuban comes in to seal the deal. Jump over the wall, safeguard. Charu flips over, and return damage from Reckless, and the assaulted battery comes in. Flash from Shock. They're jumping over the wall. Great mechanical play. Naga is still hot pursuit. Makla comes in. Kuban as well. with all the assistance. And Shook, he's still trying to get out of here. Charu looking to cut him up. Another ward jump comes out. Flash into Urchin Strike. The auto attacks come in. Zonya's pop. And he actually bleeds out from the passive from his W. Now Naga still falling after Reckless. Do we have any other contenders? New challengers approaching. Macla's on the front lines. This is not the place he wants to be. Letting Naga go first. He actually walks himself into a trap. Kubon now jumping after Young Buck. More damage comes in. Glacial Path comes across as a zoning tool. Doesn't choose to go in. And after all that, I think that was a 1-for-1.
Yes, after all of that was, I think, maybe a 2-for-1. Did Unlimited die at the beginning? I believe Unlimited died after the Assault and Battery went in from Vi there. But regardless, it was such a long fight that, honestly, right now, I don't even know what day of the week it is. That's how long this best of 5's been going on for.
Man.
But Kautard is going to be picking up the banner for his team for Copenhagen Wolves, trying to stave off this onslaught going in. In fact, Ring of Frost lands as well, and the Frozen 2 Makler gets decimated in a heartbeat. And again, it's just a case of ring around the rosies with these two teams. Whenever you think one is about to get an advantage, the other one jumps back in. Case in point being Coupon and Fizz locking together, picking up that kill. Charu's now all by his lonesome. Can he pick up a kill? Yes, he can. My god, these mechanics from Charu are off the charts right now. Libic is going to have to be very careful. He's flashing up red. Here comes Coupon from the side for the triple kill. Jumping back again as the lead will reset. He has already, of course, evolved that one and also taste their fear. As a result, 4-for-2 trade, and that's going to allow Meet Your Makers to push down the mid.
And that's why I love playmaking compositions, because even if you're a little bit behind, you can make plays, and they far outweigh goal differentials at any day of the week. Oh, Shook lands the Q onto Naga. Will he go in? He could definitely probably go for the execute, but probably die in the process. He just needs to ward them away from the tower, but they should be down very quickly. Next minion wave comes across. Ezreal also clearing the bottom wave with 2-shot barrage. But honestly, MYM keeping themselves in the game by playing just exceptionally well.
I'm people around in chat and everyone's saying anybody can play Fizz. Really, guys? Can anyone play Fizz to this level that Charu's doing right now? I'm not so sure unless you're actually challenging yourself. In which case, fair enough. But if you're not, then I would probably put it to you that Charu's on a bit of a different level. Regardless, though, currently and a 21-14, 4 towers to 4, 28 minutes through, and just 600 gold in it, Pulse. It doesn't get much closer than this.
It doesn't, and double Zonia's has come in, and actually a Zonia's from also Charu. The problem when Fizz gets ahead is that it's almost impossible to shut him down, because often if you do see the Fizz ahead of the curve, then you'll see him with absurd scorelines like, 10-3 or 15-1, and that's a reason because he has the invulnerability from Playful Trickster, and that has such a short cooldown, and because you tend to max it, you'll have that very early, and you'll tend to go for Zonias, so you can never really focus him down. It's a bit like the Vlad principle, but much worse.
Yeah, now, I'm just curious on your thoughts here, Pulse, about how this game is going to progress going into the kind of mid to late stage, actually. As I'm speaking, Charu deletes Reckless from the map. Again, the dueling kind of potential of Charu at this point is just Reckless can't stand toe-to-toe with him and really shouldn't be in lane anywhere near a Fizz. Was caught out of position, will die as a result. And now Meet Your Makers have started off the Baron. Very smart play, the Limited spins caught, goodbye, he's going to get taken out as well. And Coupon picks up yet another kill, leaps back into the Baron pit. Are we now going to have that revenge from Shook with this Smite steal? Doesn't look very likely. Nice positioning from Meet Your Makers, putting themselves well and truly at the front line, stopping Shook from stealing this one away. They stopped the actual aggro on the Baron, instead switching over to Lee Sin and then smiting it afterwards. Flashing from Cubon, he is looking for this kill on Youngbuck. It looks very likely. Here comes the repel from Elise, but just going to be dropping back down again.
Oh man, the surrender boat comes in for Copenhagen Wolves. Wow, unbelievable. And you know what that means? We're on to the best of 5, the 5th game metas, and that will be blind pick. With just back and forth action from Meet Your Makers and Copenhagen Wolves, I cannot stress how happy I am.
Oh my good god. We called it. At game number 1, we said this could go down to the 5th game. That's how close, that's how even these teams are in skill. They've not disappointed us.
I have nothing more to add. I think we should get off air very quickly so we can prepare for the next game. But stay tuned and spread this to all your friends, because we have the blind pick 5th game between Copenhagen Wolves and MYM. 2 Shen, 6 Zeds. It could happen. We'll see you shortly.